A few WWE superstars are confirmed for TNA Hard to Kill. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I, of course, am Ango. I want to kick things off with a very interesting topic. If you guys watched WWE NXT last night, then you saw the split up of this faction. Yeah, that's right. Fallon Henley, Josh Briggs, and of course, Brooks Jensen. They're no longer together. And it was interesting, and I want to talk about this for a couple reasons, but it was interesting that they decided to do this split amicably, right? They all agree they shouldn't be a group. It didn't have to be best friend turning on best friend, whatever. Now, what's interesting to me is I want to say maybe October. I want to say it was towards the end of October. WWE did a dark match at the Performance Center, which was Brooks Jensen versus, I want to say, Oba Femi. And it was a dark match. This was kind of like, just them doing some fun stuff. But at that time, Brooks Jensen used a song from Journey, and it was the Separate Ways theme song. And you could go on Twitter, you could go online, and you could find people who've uploaded videos of it. But Brooks Jensen sported a more old school wrestling look with this theme song. And at that point in time, it looked very clear that WWE was testing the waters of Brooks Jensen being a singles competitor. And actually, if you look at the booking of Briggs and Jensen, they've kind of been experimenting with this. Obviously, Josh Briggs was part of the Iron Survivor match at NXT Deadline. Then you have Brooks Jensen also doing some single stuff. Now there's some talk that WWE is actually reportedly very high on Brooks Jensen as a singles athlete. And I gotta wonder, does WWE do what they never do in the sense of licensing out this song from Journey? Because if you watch the entrance, if you look at the presentation of Brooks Jensen on that dark match, it was incredible. It was actually really fire. And I think if WWE actually license this song for him, and they eventually choose to go with a very serious singles push, this guy will be a very big star in the WWE in several years. Like, I don't think people realize presentation is not just the way somebody looks. It's the way that the ring announcer announces them to the ring. It's the way that their theme music hits, their Titantron. Presentation is just so much more than you and how you look. It's everything combined. And with Brooks Jensen, WWE has a lot of confidence that they could present him as a very serious singles competitor. Now, one last thing I wanted to mention, I've seen some people say, oh, he looks like he could be the third part of FTR. He could be the third member of the Revival, FTR, right? And if you start looking at his change in presentation, the hairstyle, the trunks, and stuff like that, it does look like WWE is kind of going that route, whether or not FTR is actually in the company. WWE had made some significant history. I thought this was absolutely crazy, just because we all know that WWE's business it's going upward, right? We all understand that WWE is making a lot of great business decisions. They're seeing a lot of growth, a lot of improvements, not just on the product level, but on a business level. Now, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select had reported that WWE broke a huge record. This show, Madison Square Garden, was actually the highest grossing domestic non-televised live event in the history of the entire company. WWE legitimately sold out Madison Square Garden for a house show. And just the other week, we were talking about WWE and Endeavor possibly doing less house shows, less live events. And I'm kind of intrigued by this because obviously not every house show is going to perform the same way that Madison Square Garden did. But when you look at WWE's overall product and you look at their overall business and you see that a house show like this is so significantly successful, you have to wonder why they don't do more of these, or why they don't only do the big markets, right? Because yes, you are going to lose money doing house shows on the smaller markets, obviously smaller crowds. But what's also interesting, at the same time that this event was happening, They also had a live event in Baltimore, which means both of the shows had a split roster working both shows. So some top names were working at the one in Baltimore, some of the top names were working at Madison Square Garden, and that same show for Baltimore also had the highest grossing numbers in their market. So WWE is making history with their house shows, and it goes to show you how significant their product actually is and how popular it is. I think there's a lot of people who are looking at this kind of shocked, and I think some people know that this is to be expected. But I will say, we're talking about a show that has no television, no streaming, no broadcast deal. It's just without the cameras, and they were able to sell it out. And we're not talking 2,000, 3,000. We're talking pay-per-view level attendance for a show that is not televised. I don't know what else to say about that. It's absolutely insane. But nonetheless, we'll keep it moving. TNA, TNA, TNA. Guys, Grizzled Young Veterans have announced that they are coming to TNA Hard to Kill, happening January 13th at the Palms in Las Vegas. TNA, for some reason, they're bringing in the right talent, they're signing the right names, but now I've noticed something, and it's not being talked about enough, so I have to talk about it. I think TNA is invading the UK wrestling scene. Danny Luna, Trent Seven, and now Grizzled Young Veterans. That's 4 UK talent that are joining TNA. This time, it's the Grizzled Young Veterans, who, by the way, after they left WWE, the first place they went was to Deadlock Pro Wrestling. Very, very awesome stuff that they're doing there. But now they're going to TNA, and they're going to be at Hard to Kill. And I have a feeling that's not even... There's more that's going to happen. But to look at TNA and look at what they're possibly doing and all of this potential that they have going into January 13th, you bring in a very exciting tag team. Scott D'Amore said it himself. They want higher pace action, right? They want to do all of these different things, and they want to kind of change the pacing of the show. And, you know, they want it to be a focus between both stories and in-ring stuff. But higher presentation, obviously production elements and stuff like that. You bring in a tag team like this, they're experienced. They understand the WWE style. They understand the indie style. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. And like I said, this is not even the last of it. Like, we know they have something that is going to shake the wrestling world like crazy. So TNA is cooking. They're bringing in Grizzled Young Veterans. Personally speaking, I am excited about it. I cannot wait for Hard to Kill. I can't wait to do a live stream after. I'm very excited about this event. But I like these guys, man. And to see, like, what they're doing now is what WWE should have been doing with them on the main roster, right? But unfortunately, WWE wanted them to be part of the dyad, and it was a weird decision, and they handled it like professionals. They did what they were supposed to, but now they can go out and do their thing. Their reveal video was sick. They're talking. Very good spokespeople. You know, promo abilities are very good. They are good spokespersons, right? Yeah. But my point that I'm trying to make is they're good on the mic and they're good in the ring. They're going to do very well. And I hope this leads to something long term.